Hey guys, welcome to the Docker training. I think you guys are now able to see my screen and I'm audible. Can anybody please confirm in the chat box that I'm loud and clear? I'm waiting for the reply. Can anybody please confirm in the chat box that I am loud and clear? So let's start with the Docker training. It's just kind of, it's not just training, it's full-fledged, not kind of workshop or kind of thing. It's just a full-fledged Docker training. So let's start with the Docker training. So there is no prerequisite for this training. The first of all, if you have some kind of basic knowledge of the Linux operating system, that will be helpful. But as such, first of all, there is no prerequisite for this training. We are going to start everything from very zero till all the advanced. We are going to start in the Docker, and then the second, we are going to do everything 100% practical, that we are going to cover all the possible industry use cases, whatever possible in the Docker world, from starting from the Docker images to all the advanced, we are going to cover in this training. Then, first of all, before starting this training, guys, I just want to clear some roadmap. I just want to give some roadmap to you, so you guys will be aligned with me. So if you want to go for the if you talk about the containerization, the Docker is a tool which give us a container technology. It's built, means what you can say, if you want to use the container technology, so Docker is the one of the tool. So in the if you want to start your journey in the container world, so there are lots of more tool. It's the foundation of the container. Means if you want to go for the Kubernetes, if you want to learn the Kubernetes, so Kubernetes has their own training program available. Like one of the training program they provide us is a CKA, Kubernetes Certified Kubernetes Associate, and there is it's kind of the second level you can think, and there is one more program they provide us, the CKAD. Okay, it's mainly for Kubernetes Certified Kubernetes Associate developer kind of program. It's kind of third level. Okay, and if you want to start your journey with the Kubernetes, though, the first thing you should know, it's kind of the first level is the container. Or else if you want to go for the OpenShift, so if you want to go for the OpenShift, so OpenShift has their own training program available, like 188 is one of the program OpenShift providers, and if you, it's kind of the again second level for the OpenShift, and there is one more program they provide like 280. They have many more, but if you want to go for the admin field, so they have, it's kind of third level, you can think in the OpenShift world. Okay, or else if you want to go in the Docker world, more deep in the Docker world, so Docker provide their own training, DCA, Docker Certified Associate. It's kind of global exam Docker provide if you want to go in more deep in the container world. So Docker provide their own training, so it's kind of must foundation training we are going to start. It's not kind of just a foundation, it's a core training of the Docker we are going to start from today. And not only in this genre, if you want to go for the Linux also, so if you want to go in the Linux operating system, so Red Hat provide their own training program on the Linux RSCSA. So if you want to go for the RSCSA also, and if you want to pass the RSCSA exam, so in that exam also they also ask you some question of the Docker or the container world. So we are going to see, it's kind of must or the foundation training, any field you want to go, you want to go in the Kubernetes, OpenShift, or only in Docker, or the Linux operating system, or the web development, or the DevOps world you want to go, container is the one of the must thing. Okay, so just I just want to share this roadmap with you. And not only this training, if you want to search for the job, so you go like let me just open, and you search for any job role, like if you search for the DevOps job. Okay, so there are lots of DevOps job available, and if you search the job description of this job, there is one, always there is one requirement of the Docker. So here you can see they have the requirement of Docker. If you go here, they have again the somehow they, if you open this job description properly, so here you can see again they are looking for the Docker. If you go more, you find lots of job related to the Docker. If you go for the web development or any other jobs also, you find the lots of requirement of the Docker. Okay, so I just want to share this thing, so let me just start the training from here. So now let me just start the training. So from here I'm just starting the training. Okay, now if you talk about the human being world in the from the perspective of the IT, you want to do anything in the technological world, or you want to do anything in the laptop or whatever you can say in the operating system, you need a program. Like we are now watching I have my Windows 11, you are watching this video, so you are using the YouTube as a platform. So YouTube is not any other thing, YouTube just kind of the program. So one of the thing you need to do anything, like you want to type something, so you use the notepad. So notepad is just kind of one program available. So if you want to do anything in the operating system, like the here I have VLC media player. If you want to play the video, so VLC media player you need, it's just kind of one program. So you want to do anything in the world of IT or the computer world, you want to do anything, so you need a program. So one of the things you need the program. So here I am just writing, so you need a program. And to run the program, the main key thing you need is an operating system. Okay, so without operating system, it's impossible to run the program. And if you talk about the operating system, to run the operating system, you need the physical hardware. Physical hardware like RAM and CPU, or you can say NIC card, also known as network card. So it's depend on you how you install the operating system. So to run the program, you need a operating system. Program can be anything like VLC media player or Windows media player, or you can think Chrome is just kind of one program available. Or you can think in the, if you think about the tech stack perspective, so there are lots of databases, they are nothing, they are just kind of programs. So if you want to do anything, you need a program. And if you talk about the operating system perspective, so there are lots of operating system available in the world, like Windows we have. In the Linux operating system, you have multiple distribution we have, and there are Mac also, or there are Sun Solaris, solar operating system. There are multiple operating system available. But if you want to if you go more deep, if you want to install the operating system, like we need a physical hardware. But if you need the operating system, there are four ways available to install the operating system. So if you want to install the operating system, so let me just type. So if you want to install the operating system, there are only four ways available in this world to install the operating system. One of the way is, you can think like, is the bare metal. So one of the way is bare metal. So bare metal is one of the things through which you can install the operating system. So what I am using now, I am directly using my operating system on the top of my laptop. It's kind of bare metal installation, or else you just purchase the RAM and CPU, like you build your PC. So what you can do, you go to the market and you purchase some RAM and CPU. On the top of that RAM and CPU, you install kind of operating system. So this is known as bare metal installation. And if you talk about the second way, so second we have is one kind of virtualization technology. We have, using the virtualization technology, we can install the operating system. This is the second way available. And if you go for the third way, so cloud is one of the way to install the operating system. There are lots of cloud provider available in the market. So there are like AWS or Azure or Alibaba or Google Cloud. You can use any of them to install the operating system, use their services and get your operating system ready. Which and there is last way, fourth way is a containerization. So container is one of the four last way available to install the operating system. Whichever way you use to install the operating system, like you go for the bare metal or virtualization and cloud or containerization, there is only one use of the operating system that we already discussed, to run a program. So there is the method of the installing of the operating system could be different, but the use of the operating system after the installation complete, what you have to do after the operating system install, there is only one use of the operating system, is to run the program. So after installing the operating system, we are just going to run the program. The program could be anything. It might be the databases or web server or any kind of program you want to install. So but the one of the fascinating, I think, guys, I see in the chat box, so Atharva, you're saying screen is not visible. Kajal, you're saying the screen is blur. Can you please confirm in the chat box now that my screen is properly visible now, and I'm audible properly? Just check your YouTube setting that. Can you please confirm now I'm audible and my screen is visible clearly? Hey, anyone can please confirm in the chat box that my screen is visible and I'm audible. Okay, so let me start from here. So any method you use, you go for the bare metal or virtualization or the cloud or the container platform, the method of the installation could be different. Like you go for any of the technology, but the use after installing the operating system, there is only one use of the operating system after it's installed, to run a program. This is the one of the most important and only one use of the operating system, to run a program. But there is one fascinating thing about the container is, using the if you go for the bare metal installation, it might be take 1 hour to install the operating system, or 30 minutes to install the operating system. If you go for the virtualization technology, it could be take around 30 minutes to install the operating system. Actually, my screen is still blur. So, Kajal, I just recommend you to just go. I think my screen is properly visible for all other participants. So, I just recommend you to click on the YouTube setting and quality, and just change your quality to 180p. Okay, so I think your quality may be on 144p. So, I just recommend you to change the quality to 180p. Then it might be clear for you. If you go for the virtualization technology, it could be take around 30 minutes. If you go for the cloud, it could take 3 or 2 minutes to install the operating system, depend on which cloud you are using. If you are using AWS cloud, then it gonna take around 3 or 2 minutes. Okay, but if you use the containerization technology, the same operating system that what we are taking here, 1 hour, 30 minutes or 30 minutes or 3 or 2 minutes, the same operating system, if you install using the containerization technology, it could be installed in less than 1 second. So the same operating system, it could be installed in less than 1 second. There is no difference between the uses of the operating system, what we are doing in the operating system, but the same operating system, it could be installed in less than 1 second. And if you talk about why we need the operating system in less than 1 second, so I just need to go in this way. So if you know about the business, so Let me just give me 1 second. So why it's not getting down? So let me just open the another event. So if you think about the business perspective, if you think about the perspective of the business guys, so in the business it's depend on the way how much agile you are. Okay, there is only one way to survive in this world of the competition, that is how much agile you are. What is it mean by this? So let me just explain you in this way. So if you know about the Netflix or any kind of business, so like you have some kind of idea available. So if you have some kind of idea available, and if you want to convert this, I launch this idea, so first you need to create the application or web application of this idea. So if you want to create the application or web application of this idea, so what you do, you just go to the developer and you just create the application. So you just create the app using this idea. So like Netflix is one of the ideas someone has in their mind. So Netflix is one of the some kind of idea they have in their mind. What they do, just go to the developer and they just create the code. They just go to the developer and they just create the code in any kind of programming language. And what we discuss, if this application is nothing, it's just kind of on program. So for running the program, what we need the operating system. Okay, and what we do, we just run this program on the top of this operating system. This is known as deploy. If you are deploying some kind of application or code on the operating system, is mainly known as deploy or also known as execute. Okay, and adding this operating system is known as OS provisioning. So it's known as OS provisioning. Okay, and for adding the operating system, you need to install the operating system, and the client which are going to access the application after this application launch. So like this is one kind of client. Sorry, so this is one kind of client, and after your idea is created, you just need the 1 hour to install the operating system using the bare metal. The idea might be delay from the 1 hour to the client, means client can't able to access their application till 1 hour. Okay, and it's not about the only idea. There are lots of companies like Netflix, they are just updating the idea, new idea, new features per day basis. They are just creating the new feature 100 times. They are just updating the new features in the Netflix per day basis. It's not just about the idea, it's about the bugs also. It's not only about the idea. If you talk about, it's about the bugs also. They have multiple pages available, like the popular now, plans, reason, and there are sign up pages, and there are multiple pages Netflix they have available. And if you talk about the multiple pages, so it's not only about the idea, they have to fix the bugs also. So what they do, they find the bugs. If they found the bugs, so they just go to the developer again. They just go to the developer again and they tell to the developer that we have this kind of bugs, fix this bug. And what developer do, they have some kind of this you can think this is the one older OS, when the older version of application running, and developer update the code and developer created the new code, and they just launch the new code. But for launching the new code, they just don't launch the new code on the older operating system. They don't launch the code on the older operating system where their application is already running. They always create the new operating system and they launch the new application, the updated application on the top of new operating system. There are lots of reason behind it. If you think about, one of the reason is in the older code they need Windows 10 to run their application, but the code they fixes or the code they updated, they don't need Windows 10 now. They just for the new code, new code, they just need the Windows 11. It's not only about the operating system, it's about the Python coding language also. Like in the older version they are using the uh, Python 3.8. Okay, in the older version they are using the Python 3.8, but in the new version of the code, whatever they updated, they need the Python 3.9 version. Okay, and it's not about the operating system also, so they need the 3.9 version. And the this update, what we're doing, like we are just updating the code, like we are just switching from older version to the, we just updated the code, and from older version we are just switching to the newer version. This is known as release, or also known as rollout. Okay, this is known as release, or also known as rollout. Okay, if you are updating from the older version, if you go if you set the name like older version, you can think like v1, and if you are and the newer version, the bugs you fixes is known as v2. So you can think like this is the older version, and from older version we are switching to the v2. This concept is known as rollout. Okay, and it's not a simple thing, guys. Like if you think about the Netflix, they are, this website, they are not just running on the single operating system. They have thousands of operating system running behind the scene to run this one application of the Netflix. And if you think they found one of the bug or any kind of bug they found, so what they have to do, they just have to just terminate this all the thousand OS, means they are running this application on the thousands of the OS. So if they found one of the bugs, so this is how to terminate this, delete this all of the thousand operating system, and they just have to launch new thousand operating system with the newer version. So it's huge wastage of the time. If they are taking, if they are taking the time of the 30 minutes on 1 hour to update the to update to the newer version, so it's huge wastage of the time and money for them. Okay, so if you use, so for this what they do, they, it's not about the technology, which technology you use. Like if you go, if you use the, if you go for the what we can say, if you go for the virtualization technology or the bare metal technology, it's huge wastage for the time. So what container provide you, it's not only about the operating system, you already know. So whenever you create the app, so just like we created the application in the Python code, we created the application. So what we need the operating system, and the after the operating system we need the Python runtime. So if anybody know, we need the runtime, and also we need some kind of libraries. So if you know the whatever you code we create, we need some kind of libraries. So it's not only about the operating system, we need this entire setup. And this setup, you can also say it's one kind of environment. To set up this environment, we have to invest huge wastes of the time, and we don't have to set up this environment in only on the one operating system. We just have to set up this environment if they are running with the thousands of the operating system. So we have to set up this environment on each operating system thousands of times. So you can think like this is a huge wastage of the time. But if you use the Docker as a technology, so what sorry, container as a technology, so what container technology provide you, this entire environment, whatever you are seeing here, this entire environment you can launch in less than 1 second using the Docker technology. So this is the main key feature and the facility Docker provide you. And not only on one operating system, you can launch thousands of operating system. This thousands of operating system you can delete, and you can again launch this thousands of operating system with the newer version v2. What you can think like this kind of rollout, we can just launch the, this is the thousands of operating system you can launch again in less than 1 second. So this is the one of the key thing what Docker provide. And if you are able to launch this much as faster in this way, so you are able to release your idea faster to the client, so in the market. So if you are the business, so if you are able to launch this much, so if you are able to reach your if you are able to reach your idea to the market more faster way, more agile way, this is known as time to market. How much time you take to reach your idea to the market, means the client. So this is known as time to market. So if you are able to reach your idea or able to fix or able to add new feature as fast as you can, so this is known as time to market. So more agile you are, more faster you are, so you can able to survive in this the world of the IT, in this world of the competition, and you will earn more profit and you will survive in the world of the business. So this is the one of the main key thing of the using of the containerization technology, that you can launch this entire environment in less than 1 second. Okay, and if you want to use the containerization technology, it's just the concept name. So like if you go for the, what you can say, if you go for the virtualization, so if you want to use the virtualization technology, so virtualization is just a concept name. But if you want to implement the virtualization technology, so there are lots of product available. One of the product they provide us, the Oracle is one of the product available to implement the virtualization technology. Again, VMware is one of the product available to implement the containerization technology. If you go for the cloud, if you want to implement the cloud as a technology, so there are lots of product available. One of the product they provide us is AWS, one of the cloud. It's a public cloud, you can just go there, and there is one service called EC2. Using the EC2 service, we get the operating system. Or else if you want to go for another, so you can go for the Google cloud, or else you can go for the Azure cloud also. Same like if you want to implement the containerization as a technology, so there are lots of product available. One of the product available is Podman. One of the product available is Podman, and the second is one of the another product is available is Cryo. Then we have a Rocket also available. But one of the what you can say, one of the main product which launched this container as a technology. Containerization is a technology from before the Docker launch. It's there, but it's very hard to implement that technology. But Docker is one of the product which made this technology very simple and very anybody can use it. So if you search for the Docker, so if you search for the Docker Wikipedia page, so Docker is one kind of tool launched by Solomon Hayek. So it's launched in the 2013, and after this product launch, guys, in just 2 years after launching this product, in just 2 years of launching this product, entire IT industry it's completely now using the Docker. So I just seen there are two technology in this world, till the one of the technologies is Docker. They admire the entire IT industry, and the second technology is not quantum computing or AI, or sorry, or blockchain. The second technology is AI, artificial intelligence. These are the two technology. They are, as soon as they launch, they admire the entire IT industry. Huge company are there are all the companies are using this product. Like if you go for the Docker, Google almost launch 1 billion plus container per week. It's not 1 lakh or 1 million, it's just 1 billion containers. So Google launch 1 billion container per week. And if you go to the official website of the Docker, so here you can see there are more than 7 million plus application are running on the Docker. it's not a simple application. There are lots of application, from you can think like from automation to car to manufacturing to IoT or the finance. You can think like all the giants, big giants company are using this tool. So if you go for Spotify, Salt, Tapcon, Conflate, all the companies are using this tool. Okay, so these are the some basic of the Docker, that why we need Docker, which companies are using Docker. So let's start with the main part and the practical part of the Docker. So if you want, Docker is one kind of tool available, and it's just kind of one program. So Docker is one kind of tool. So let me just click. So Docker is one kind of I think it's not visible. So Docker is just kind of one tool available, and if you want to install any tool or the application, you need the operating system, and whichever technology you use to get the operating system, the use is same. We need to install the tool. So what I'm doing as here now, to get the operating system so we can set up the Docker, I'm gonna use the AWS cloud to get the operating system. The step could be same, all the commands could be same. You go for you can install the Docker on your Linux, sorry, on the local setup. You can install on the top of Linux operating system, or else you can also use the Windows to install the operating system, but I don't recommend to use the Windows if you want to learn the Docker in the deep. So go for the Linux operating system, and we are going to use the Linux operating system, and the Linux operating system we are going to install on the top of AWS, and we are going to use the Amazon Linux as the operating system. Okay, so if we have the local setup, so just like we have one of the Oracle is one of the virtual box available. So what you can do, you can just simply install the Linux operating system in this Oracle virtual box, and you can start and you can install the Docker there. But we are going to use the AWS cloud, and I will recommend you to follow along with me. So in the future we are going to do some from basic to all the advanced practical we are going to do on the AWS cloud. So in the future you don't face any issue. So what I'm just opening the Chrome browser, and here you just have to search for aws.amazon.com. So aws.amazon.com. So if you go here, so this kind of console gonna come up. So just click on sign into the console. I already have the account of the AWS, but if you don't have, it's pretty simple to create the account of the AWS. So what you can do, let me just open the another tab. Sorry guys. So if you want to create the account for the AWS, so you can just go to the same website, aws.amazon.com, and here you have to click on create an account. It's just a pretty simple way to create the account. They just add you some basic details. They are not gonna charge you anything, but for creating the account you need the debit card, and they ask you for the PAN card also. So you need the debit card and the PAN card for creating the account. And if you don't have the debit card, so what you can do, just download the Airtel payment bank application from the Play Store. So Airtel payment, you download the Airtel payment bank, and Airtel payment bank provide you virtual kind of debit card. So you can use that virtual debit card also to create the account on the top of AWS cloud. So they just ask you for the email ID, and they just verify some kind of detail. And initially at the starting they are just gonna charge you 2 rupees when you first time create the account, and after your account created and all your document verify, they just refund the amount again to your bank account. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the AWS here to get the operating system now. And for getting the operating system, what you can do, just click on the search here, and if you want to get the operating system, so AWS have their own service available, and the name of the service is EC2. So EC2 is one of the service through which we can get the operating system. So here you can see virtual server in the cloud. So just click on here EC2, and after you Go to this landing page. Here you can see you can create and manage and monitor virtual servers in the cloud. So what you can do now, here just click on launch instance, and here just let me just give some kind of name here. So docker underscore training underscore 2025, just the name of the operating system I am giving. And the if you go for the application, I'm just gonna use the Amazon Linux. And if you go scroll down, I just want to go with the by default T2 micro what they are giving us. By default they give you the 1 year of free trial. So let me just, so when you create the account on the AWS, so they give you the free trial for 12 months. So they give some kind of 720 hour I think to, sorry, 720 hours I think to launch the operating system on the AWS cloud free of cost. So just check there how much hours you are using. So here you can see I think you get the 750 hours to launch the operating system. So they give you 750 hours to per month. Okay, it's per month, so means you can use the 12 month. So there is T2 micro is one of the time, sorry, instance type they give you to use for the 1 year free of course. So what you can do, just go here and select the T2 micro. So this is the instance type T2 micro. In this they give you 1 vCPU, 1 GB RAM, and it's free trial eligible. So I'm gonna go with the T2 micro, and keep here for now. I don't, it just a kind of password kind of thing. So what you can do, I don't need any kind of key pair now. So I'm just click on proceed without key pair. Okay, but if you use any kind of other operating system, they just you if you use any kind of Mac, Ubuntu or Windows, so they don't support this option. So if you want to proceed without key pair, so you have to choose the Amazon Linux only. So let me just scroll down, and I don't need any kind of key pair and other setting. I don't need to change anything till here now. So now all the settings is done. So let me click on launch instance. So they are just launching the instance. So my instance is successfully launched. So what I can do now, so let me just click on the ID. Every instance you launch, they give you unique kind of ID. So what you can do after install launch, they give this kind of portal, and from here, so this is kind of the name of the instance what we launch it. And one thing again here guys, you use whichever technology, the final goal is you get the operating system. Okay, but the operating system is the different technology they call in the different way. Like if you use the bare metal, so we normally call the operating system. But if you go for the virtualization technology, so in the virtualization world, this same operating system is known as guest OS, or also known as VM sometimes. And if you go for the cloud, so this same operating system is known as instance or the VM also, whichever cloud you use. So if you are using the AWS cloud, so here you can see in AWS cloud this operating system is known as instance. So here you can see instance ID, all the instances, how much operating system we have. And if you go for the containerization technology, so in the containerization world, this same operating system is known as the container. Okay, so the method, the installation method might be different, but and the naming convention might be different, but the concept is exactly same what we are doing. After the we do everything, we are gonna get the operating system, and in the operating system we are gonna run the program whatever we need. Okay, so whichever technology we use, the final goal is we are gonna get the operating system, and in that operating system we are gonna run the program. So the I think my operating system, let me, the status is initializing now. So let me just refresh this page, and here you can see my operating system, the state is ready, so running. So I can connect to this operating system now. So this kind of instance, so just click here and click on connect to connect with this operating system. and I don't want to connect with the SSH, so I just want to go with EC2 instance connect. Just click here EC2 instance connect and just scroll down and click on connect. So when you click on connect, so they are gonna just launch this kind of terminal in your web UI. So you can type all the commands, whatever command you know in the Linux operating system, you can type here. So let me just close this here and let's zoom little bit. Okay, so now here what we can do, we can type whatever command you want to run. So if you see here, if I run who am I command, so who am I is one of the command in the Linux operating system, through which we can check from which user we are logged in. So if you know about the Windows operating system, so we have multiple users in the Windows. One of the user is you can think like is the admin user we have in the Windows. Same like in the Linux operating system, you have multiple user, but the admin user whatever we have, which user have the all the powers, means they can do anything in the Windows. So same user if you want to use in the Linux operating system, so we have root user, means they have all the powers, they can install the software, they can do anything. So if you want to log in with the root user now, so here I am login with the EC2 user, but if you want to log in with the root user, so for this you can use the sudo su-root is one of the command you use to log in with the root user. So what I'm doing guys, I am just copying this command, so you can practice later. So not this, so I'm just copying this command so you can practice later. So copy, paste, and copy and paste, and I'm gonna share this command after the I'm just gonna share this command after this session with you. Okay, so now I have the operating system, and if I check the who am I command again, so you can see I am login with the root user. So I'm logging with the root user now. Now I want to install the Docker. I got the operating system, but I want to install the Docker. So what you can do, so first thing, I want to clear the screen, means whatever output you are seeing, if you want to clear this entire output, to for this we have clear command. So what you can do, you can just type the clear command, so it's gonna clear the entire output what you're gonna see, and it's gonna give fresh kind of terminal. Now if you want to install the Docker, so what you can do, if you want to install any kind of software in the Linux operating system, and mainly we are using the Amazon Linux now. If you want to install any software in the Amazon Linux, so for this we use the yum command. So yum is one of the command you can think. Yum is the command through which you can install the any kind of software. And yum install Docker. We want to install the Docker. So what you can do, you can just press enter, and they are going to start the installation of the Docker for us. Okay, so till the time the guys Docker are installing, so just give me 1 minute. Okay guys, so just give me 1 minute. Oh, okay. So sorry for it, guys. So here you can see, as soon as you type this command, so they are gonna install the Docker, and the version they are gonna install is 25.0. It's one kind of latest version of the Docker they are gonna install for us. So let me just click on, they are asking us if you want to install the Docker, yes or no. So I want to install the Docker, so I just click on Y and press enter. So it's kind of yes, and they are going to start the installation of the Docker for us. So it's going to take some time for the installation of the Docker. So just wait till the time my Docker is installing. So the Docker installed the successfully. Now what we can do now, Docker is started, and Docker is one kind of program, but you want to start the services of the Docker. So after the Docker install, we have to start the services of the Docker. And for starting the services in the Linux operating system, we have systemctl command available. So systemctl is one kind of the command available in the Linux operating system if you want to start the services. So what you can do after the Docker install, so let me just use the clear command again. So instead of using the clear command again to clear the screen, there is one shortcut available. What you can do on your keyboard, you can press control, the right control, sorry, the left control plus L. So it's kind of one kind of shortcut available. If you press this shortcut, they are gonna clear the screen for you. So here you can see they are gonna just clear the screen for you, and here is my again new screen. Okay, so they are just gonna clear the screen for you. And now I want to start the Docker services. So what I can do, let me use this I think let me just use the clear command again here. So okay, so I want to start the services here now. So what we can do, we can use systemctl start Docker. So it's one of the command through which we can start the services, and here you can see the Docker service is successfully started. One of the way to check the Docker is services the started or not, you can write the same command systemctl, but instead of the start command you have to write status command. So systemctl status is one of the command to check the status of the Docker, and if you run, if you go upside, so here you can see the Docker status is running and the Docker is active and running. And one more thing you can see here, the Docker application container engine, Docker application container engine. What is mean by this? So we on which operating system you install the Docker, where is this? So let me just create. So which operating system you install the Docker? So if you try to understand the current setup of the operating system what AWS provides, so they have physical hardware available. So they have physical hardware available. On the top of this physical hardware, they have the operating system. We are using the Amazon Linux, and on the top of this operating system we have Docker available. Okay, and after Docker available, we can install as much as operating system we need. Okay, and the operating system where we install the Docker, this operating system is known as Docker host. This is known as Docker host, and where we install this Docker, this is known as Docker engine. Both are the same thing, they don't have much different, but you can think where we install the Docker, this entire environment is known as Docker host, and this Docker product is known as Docker engine, where we install the Docker. Now we have the Docker engine available. Now what you can do, we can install as much as operating system we need on the top of this Docker. So what we can do, let me just clear my screen. Okay, and now what I can do, first thing you should know before installing the operating system. So if you want to install any kind of operating system, use whichever technology you use, like if you use the bare metal. So if you want to install the operating system in the bare metal, so you need a bootable DVD. So if you use the operating system on the bare metal, so you need the bootable DVD or the USB pen drive, bootable pen drive. If you go for the virtualization technology, so in this virtualization technology you need the ISO file, sometimes also known as OS images. And if you go for the cloud, whatever we are using now, AWS cloud, on the top of which we launch the operating system. If you go for the cloud, you need the images, and if you use the AWS cloud, so these are also known as AMI, Amazon Machine Images. So if you see, when you are launching the operating system, so if you go again on the launching page, so when you are launching the operating system, let me click again. So here you can see, when we are launching the operating system, they ask us which AMI you want to use, and we choose here Amazon Linux. So these are the very important thing we need. We need a image, and if you want to launch the operating system in the container world, so these images we need a container image. Okay, and this is known as container image, and also known as Docker image. So these are known as image, and where we find this kind of images. So if you want to use the Windows, so Windows provide their own official images. On the Windows provide their own official images based on the subscription, or one kind of monthly plan, whatever they provide us, but we have to purchase from them. And if you go for the Linux operating system, so Red Hat, they have their own images available. So you can just go to the redhat.com and download their official images for the Red Hat. But if you want to install the any kind of operating system, they have their own ways and images available. Same like they have some container images available free of cost. Okay, so they have one website available, hub.docker.com. So hub.docker.com. This is the one of the hub.docker.com. This is the one of the website available where all the images available possible in this world almost free. Okay, so you can just download the images and launch the operating system. And if you know, after you download the image for one time, so after you download the image, so from this one image you can launch as much as a operating system you want. So like you download the image of Red Hat, so after downloading the image of Red Hat, you can launch 100 of operating system using that Red Hat image. Okay, and let me just go to the hub.docker.com. So this is the hub.docker.com, is one of the website available where we have all the images available. So what you can do, just go here and search. This is the one kind of website. This website is publicly available, and where we have the images available, these are also known as the repository. So this one kind of repository available where we have the images available, all the multiple image of the Docker container available. So it's the just kind of catalog. They have multiple catalog of the images they have, and anybody can come to this website and download the images from here. So this is kind of public repository. You can think it's kind of public repository available. Anybody can come and download the images from here. So if you go here and if you want to download any kind of images, like if you search for here Ubuntu, so here you can see there is official image available of the Ubuntu. They have more than 1 billion download, and this is the official image of the Ubuntu. And if you scroll down here, they have lots of version available of the Ubuntu. One of the version is 20.0.4. Just like in Windows, if you use the Windows operating system, in Windows we have multiple version available, like Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 9, Windows 10, and the latest one is Windows 11. Same like in the Ubuntu operating system, also they have multiple version available. And here you can see one of the version is 20.04. So we need the image to launch the operating system first. So we need the container images or the Docker images, whatever you can think. So if you want to check how much images we have pre-created, so for this you can use the Docker images command to check the images. So Docker image is one of the command through which you can check the images, how much images we have. And if you see here, we don't have the any kind of image available yet, because it's a fresh kind of setup. We just recently launched it. So what we can do, if you want to download the image, so you can use the docker full command to download the image. Which image you want to download? So I want to download the Ubuntu, and then we can use the colon. In Ubuntu, which version you want to download? So I want to download the 14.0.2. It's one of the version in the Ubuntu available. So let me just try this. So 20.4, I think. 14 point. So here you can see they just started the download of the Ubuntu 14.04 version, and the image is downloaded successfully. And now if you run the docker, let me clear first, and now if you run the docker images command here again, so you can see this image is created 4 years ago. The size of the image is 197 MB, and the version, guys, whatever version you are seeing here also supported version 20.22, 24. This version are also known as tag here. So here you can see the version we downloaded. This is the name of the image, and the version we downloaded, the 14.04. This version is also known as tag. And now we have image available. Now from this image we can launch the operating system as many times as we want. Okay, so for this we can use the docker run command and the name of the image which from which we want to launch the operating system. Okay, but after operating system launch, what we want to do, first thing I need to show you, but if you want to see, let me use, I'm using the control plus C to cancel this command. Control plus C is one of the shortcuts, so let me just type here. Control plus C is one of the shortcut through which we can cancel the any command. Means if you want to cancel any command, you type the command, but if you don't want to run this command, you want to cancel this command, so you can use the control plus C shortcut to cancel this command. Okay, first thing I need to show you that how much operating system we are running with. So for this you can use the docker ps command. So docker ps is one of the command through which you can check how much operating system we are running, and here we don't have any kind of operating system now. Okay, so now let's launch the operating system. For this, what you can do, you can use docker run the name of the image ubuntu colon 14.04. I want to launch the operating system for this from this image. And after operating system launch, what we get, whenever we launch the operating system on the top of AWS cloud, what we got this kind of terminal. Okay, this kind of terminal. So after the operating system launch, we need this kind of terminal. So for this we have to use the -t option here. We need the terminal of that operating system after the operating system launch. And after the operating system launch, we got the terminal, but we want the terminal interactive. Means if we type the command there, we got some output, so we want the terminal interactive. So for this we can use the -i option. So these are the two options we need to launch the image. One of the option is -t and the another option is -i. And if I press enter, so you can see in less than 1 second, this is the entire new Ubuntu operating system launch. Sorry guys. So one of the way to prove this is the entire new operating system. So here you can see this is the command prompt of the my Amazon Linux, and if you see here, this is the command prompt of my Ubuntu operating system. And one of the way to prove it, if you know about the Ubuntu operating system, in Ubuntu operating system, if you want to install any kind of software, yum command doesn't work here. So if I type yum command, so here you can see yum command not found. But in Ubuntu, we have, if you want to install any kind of software or any kind of things, so we have apt get command available. So if you run the apt get command, so it's gonna work here. So if you can see here, you can apt get command is working here. Means it's full-fledged working Ubuntu operating system we have. Whatever you want to do here, we can do. So let me just clear the screen again. whatever you want to do here we can do. And the another way to prove is, like, if you know about the operating system, so there is one cat command available. So just there is one command available, cat, and in this command there is one folder, etc os-release. So this is the one kind of special file available. In this file our operating system store the information about the operating OS. So if you run this command, so here you can see we are using the Ubuntu operating system, and the version is 14.04. long-term support is the LTS kind of version, long-term support, and it's Debian version of the Ubuntu. Okay. And now if you want to stop this operating system or the container, whatever you can say, we can use the exit command here now. So as soon as we use the exit command, the operating system shut down or stop. And now if you run the docker ps command here again, you are not gonna see anything, because when you run the docker ps command, they just show you the running operating system. But if you want to see the stop operating system also, means the operating system which are stopped, so what you can do, in the ps command we can use one option -a. So in the docker ps command there is one option -a which show you the running operating system also and the shutdown operating system also. So if I run the here, so here you can see at 2 minutes ago we launched the Ubuntu operating system and we exited that operating system 39 seconds ago. Okay. And every operating system you launch, they give you a unique kind of ID. So this is known as container ID. So every operating system you launch, this is known as container, that we already discussed. Every operating system we launch, they give you the container ID. And now if you want to start this operating system again, so we can use this container ID, like copy, and I want to start this operating system again, or the container again, and here I can use docker start and paste the container ID here to start this operating system again. And if I start, so here you can see operating system started, but we are not gonna get inside that operating system. But if I run the docker ps command here again, so you can see the operating system is started 9 seconds ago. And here you can see we started the operating system. But now if you want to attach to this operating system, we need the shell, means the terminal of this operating system. So for this we need to attach to this operating system. So for this we can use the docker attach command to attach with this operating system, and which operating system we want to attach. So we can use the same container ID that I want to attach with this operating system. So let me copy this and paste here, and as soon as I paste and press enter, so they are gonna take some time. So why they are not I think you have to press the enter 2 times. So when you press the enter, you have to press enter 2 times. So then you can see you're attached to this operating system. And one of the way to prove that we attach to the same operating system, so if I do ls here, ls is one of the command in the Linux operating system to see how much files we have at the current directory, or see the file. So let me just do one thing, let me just create one new file here. So cat is one command. Using the cat command I'm just creating one file. So name of the file I'm giving KodeHorizen.txt. In this file I'm just storing the content hello from Code Horizon. So this is just kind of file. Let me press enter and Control+D. And if you see here, there is one new file created with the KodeHorizen.txt. If you can see the content, KodeHorizen.txt, you can see the content of that file, what we entered in that file. Now if I use the exit command here again, the operating system gonna shut down. If I run the docker ps, you can see there is no operating system running. But if I run docker ps -a, you can see there is one operating system that we shut down 11 seconds ago. But if you want to start this operating system again, so I can use docker start and the same container ID, whatever you want to, whatever container ID we have. And the operating system, if I run the docker ps command here again, so you can see the operating system is started successfully. But now if you want to attach to the operating system, so you can use docker attach and the ID of that operating system. And as soon as we attach to that operating system, we have to press enter 2 times. So you can see we attach to this operating system. Now if I run the ls command here again, so you can see the same file what we created. If I run cat KodeHorizen.txt, so here you can see the content whatever we put in that particular file. Now let me just use the exit command to shut down this operating system. But that we already discussed. If you use the any kind of other way, like if you use the bare metal, so if you install the Ubuntu operating system on the bare metal, okay, so they're gonna take around 1 GB of RAM. But if you launch the Ubuntu same operating system using the container technology, so it's gonna use only 10 or 15 MB RAM. Okay, so they are going to take around 10 MB or 20 MB RAM. So what you can do, if you want to launch the 20 operating system, so you need 20 GB of RAM to launch that 20 operating system. But if you use the container technology, the same Ubuntu operating system we can launch in less than 300 MB RAM or 200 MB RAM. So you can see this huge distance between the resource utilization. This is also known as footprint, means how much RAM and CPU the operating system are using. This is also known as footprint. So you can see it's huge profit for the company also, that we are able to launch the work we are doing in the 1 GB RAM. The same work we can able to do in this less than 10 MB RAM. So it's huge profit for the company because they are saving the resources of their RAM and CPU. And if you know about the RAM and CPU, so RAM and CPU both are together known as compute devices, and they are the one of the most costly devices they have. So they come in the lots of high price. So we have to save the RAM and CPU, how much we can save. So that's one of the key thing in the Docker they launch in the less than 10 MB RAM or 15 MB RAM. Okay, and why they launch in that minimal RAM, why they use less, why how they launch in 10 MB RAM, and how they launch in less than 1 second. So we have one dedicated session on this. So in the future classes we are gonna have one dedicated session on the resources and why Docker is super fast, how they launched the operating system in less than 1 second. So in the future classes we are gonna see. Okay, so now if you see here, we just launched the operating system, attached to it, and created the file, and we can able to see the content of that same file. And if you exit, so they are gonna stop the operating system. If we use docker ps-a, so you can see the operating system we stopped 2 minutes ago. But if you the using the one image file, if I run the docker images command, so using this same image file you can launch as much as operating system we want. So what we can do, you can again use the docker run command -it. The option of the -it you can both use together. You can write the -i and the it option, you can write together, there is no difference between them, and the name of the image. So Ubuntu 14.04. so I just want to launch the operating system using this same image, and if I press enter, you can see the new operating system launch. And if I do ls here, so here you can see here we don't have the file that we created in that older operating system. Here we don't have the KodeHorizen file. Okay, but sometime what you want after you launch the operating system, you don't want to shut down it, you just want to exit from this terminal. But if you use the exit command, it's gonna shut down this operating system. If you run the docker ps command, so here you can see here we don't find the operating system because this operating system is shut down. So if you want to see the shutdown operating system or the stop operating system, so you can use -a option, and here you can see, here you can able to see that shutdown operating system. Okay, and guys, every operating system you launch, they give you the unique container ID that we can't define, that Docker provide by themselves, but they provide the unique name also. So here you can see relax, Jackson, music, hawking. So you can't change the container ID, but you can change the name. So when you're launching the operating system in the Docker run command, what you can do in the IT, after the IT, you can type hyphen name also. So hyphen name is one of the option they have. So you can type hyphen name and what your the operating system name you want to use. Like I want to use OS1. It just kind of name. So if I press enter, so here you can see they launch the operating system with the name OS1. Okay, and what I'm discussing you that you want to exit from this terminal, but you don't want that your operating system stop or shut down. So what you can do, instead of using the exit command shut down your operating system. So instead of using the exit command, what you can do, you can just press Control P plus Q. So it's kind of one shortcut available. So what you can do, you can press the control key on your keyboard, control plus P plus Q together. So as soon as you press this three keys together, so it's one kind of shortcut available. So when you press these three keys together, so it gonna get out of that particular terminal. And if you run the docker ps command again, so you can see the operating system is running, but just we disattach, we are not attached to that particular operating system, but the operating system is running, keep running in the background. Okay, if you run the docker ps hyphen a again, so here you can see the docker ps hyphen a command show you all the operating system. So here you can see the operating system what will launch with the name os1 is here. So os1 is running, and if you see the status is created about a minute ago, and if you check the status, so it's up about a minute ago, it's running. And the older operating system what we have, it's stop. But now if you want to attach to this operating system, so what we can do, you can use docker attach command and the id of that particular container. But instead of id, we given the name also. So what we can do, instead of providing the id, we can use the name also. Like I want to attach with os1, so I can provide the name also instead of providing the id. So if I press enter, so again I have to press enter two times. So here you can see I attached to that particular operating system. And here we don't have to use the start command before attaching to this particular operating system, because this operating system is keep on running. We don't stop this operating system. We just use this control p plus q shortcut to just get the out of that particular terminal. This operating system is keep on running in the background. Okay, and now you can see my operating system is we use the docker attach command and I am inside this particular operating system. But if you use the docker attach command to the to attach the operating system, guys, okay, if you use the docker attach command and after attaching to the operating system using the docker attach command, now if you use the exit command here again, okay, so it's not gonna shut down your operating system, it's just gonna exit from that particular operating system. But if you run the docker ps command here again, so you can see the operating system is also shut down. So means if you use attach command also, so they are gonna shut down the operating system again. Okay, but if you use the docker attach command, they are going to shut down the operating system. But we have one more command available that we are going to discuss in the next class. But we have one more command available through which if you use the exit command, they are not going to shut down our operating system. We are going to see in the next classes, but I discuss you the shortcut that we use. We can use the control plus P plus Q to exit from any particular operating system without shut down it or stop it. Now let's discuss some more thing about the Docker. Now let me just clear the screen. Okay. And now when you use the docker run command, docker run -it and the name of the operating system Ubuntu colon 14.0. So what we want, you want to launch this operating system, but not in the back foreground. Means after this operating system launch, we don't want the terminal of that particular operating system. You just want that operating system launch in the background. Okay, so what you can do in the docker run command, there is one option called -d. So you can use the -d option to launch the operating system in the detached mode. Means after the operating system launch, you don't have to attach with the terminal of that particular operating system. So you can use the docker run command -it and -d is one of the option to launch the operating system in the detached mode. So as soon as I press enter, so you can see they launch the operating system and we are not attached to that particular operating system. But if I use docker ps command here again, so you can see the operating system is running, and if I want to attach to this operating system again, so you can use docker attach command to attach to this particular operating system. Let me copy the id and paste here, and again enter. And if I run ls, so here you can see they launch the operating system again. And I want to exit from this operating system without shutting down this operating system, means without shut down this operating system or without stop this operating system. So what you can do, you can use control p plus q. It's escape sequence shortcut, you can think. It's one kind of shortcut through which we can exit from the terminal of that particular operating system without shut down that particular operating system. Okay, now we discuss about the Ubuntu. We launched the Ubuntu operating system, we shut down it, we start it, we attach to the particular operating system. But using the Ubuntu image, what we have Docker images, we can launch as much as operating system we have. But there are lots of more images available in this market through which you can launch the operating system. So one of the image we can use Docker pull command to pull the image, and one of the image we have CentOS. So one of the CentOS image we have, we can use the docker pull CentOS, and I want to let me use control C. So in the CentOS image, I want to pull the version 7. So I want to pull the version 7 from the CentOS image. So as soon as I press enter, so they're gonna start the pulling, means they start the download of this image, and you can see they are downloading the image. And if I run the docker images command here again, so you can see the CentOS image downloaded successfully. Now what you can do, you can use docker run command -it and the CentOS and :7. Okay, if I press enter, so you can see we attach to the CentOS operating system. How can I prove this is the CentOS operating system? One of the way we can check the information using the cat/os-release. So here you can see the information about the CentOS operating system, CentOS Linux version 7, core version of the CentOS, RHL Fedora distributor of the CentOS, and many more things you can see here. And another way to prove it, that if you know in the CentOS yum command work, so we can use the yum command to install the operating system. Okay, so these are the some basic thing of the Docker, guys. So let me just use the exit command to exit from here and clear my screen. And if I run the docker ps command here again, so you can see one of the container is running. If you want to stop this container, we can use docker stop command and the id of that particular container, and it's gonna stop for you. If I run docker ps command here again, so you can see the container is stopped up here. Okay, so these are the some basic thing, guys, that we need to cover. So this is just the first day of the docker training, but as we go further more detail in this training, so we are going to cover lots of topic, more advanced topic in more advanced way. So I request you to practice till here. So tomorrow we are gonna start with a more advanced practical of the Docker. Okay, so till here, if anyone have any query, you can ask me in the chat box. Okay, so till here, if anyone have any query, you can ask me in the chat box. And let me just share this command with you. History is one of the command to check the history, what your command I run. So let me just copy this all the command and share it with you in the chat box. So let me just scroll it down. Okay, let me just copy this all the commands and share it with you. So till here, if anyone have any query, you can ask me in the chat box. So let me just copy this command and share it with you in the chat box. They are not allowing me to share. So let me just create one the document, and I can just share the document link with you in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So guys, still here, if anyone have any query, you can ask me in the chat box. Till the time, I'm just sharing the commands with you. So Docker training command. Okay. And the link of the this document, I'm gonna share you in your WhatsApp group. Okay. So it's day one of the Docker 8/4/2000. Okay. So I don't think so anyone have any queries. So that's from my side, guys. Have a good day, good night, and take care.